at least 30 years. Crude oil prices have increased by about 60%. Gas and fertilizer prices have more than tripled, and the number of people experiencing hunger has increased by 46 million in Africa. This triple helix conversation is now firmly on creating an Africa on the move. Our friends should lock hands with us to truly unleash our potential. In designing our continent's response strategy, we must build from our innate resilience and strengthen partnership. Africa Development Bank's focus here must therefore be guided by advancing progress across a number of pillars, digitalize our society, realize the potential of raising innovative climate financing, explore possibilities to scale up social protection programs, bring greater transparency to the methodologies of rating agencies, make progress on SDR rechanneling, and use the AFDB as a conduit for deploying SPRs on the continent, and leverage the ADF's balance sheet to raise additional capital for the continent. We must remedy a situation where any financial institution, including the Bretton Woods, has a deeper foothold on our continent than our own Africa Development Bank. Given the current local and global dynamics, it has become imperative that we vigorously mobilize resources through innovative means, including from the digital space. We must simply uncover this potential to recover and build forward better. This bank must be unshackled to raise competitive financing for its members. We must lend support to the proposed reforms in respect of the regulations around ADF funds to enable the bank to leverage these funds to raise more funds and unlend at lower rates to all of our countries. The bank must be unshackled, indeed, to raise competitive financing for its members. It remains puzzling that the ADF is not in a position to come to the international capital markets. We must rethink and address this in the face of the present challenges that confront us. On the ADF's 50th anniversary, our aim must be to raise a further 50 billion within the next 5 years in the capital markets. Such an ambition is bold, courageous, and necessary to signal a new dawn for the bank. As worldwide momentum around climate, we need our development institutions to guide a pragmatic transition for Africa that balances our developmental aspirations with realistic net zero targets. We know that although Africa is responsible for under 4% of global emissions, we are disproportionately affected by climate change and the actual opportunity cost of meeting COP26 targets. US $6 billion out of a global total of $30 billion of climate adaptation finance flows to Africa. Also, despite the vast opportunities for green investment, the continent attracts less than 1% of global green bond issuance, estimated at $600 billion. Undoubtedly, undeniably, our bank has a $3 trillion opportunity to co-finance project pipelines, provide concessional resources, and de-risk green transactions. Positioning our bank to crowd in the needed finance for climate must continue to engage our attention, mainly because the prospects of being left with stranded assets in an emerging concern in the African climate change debate. The results associated with AFDB and ADF's operations have changed the lives of millions of Africans. As such, as Africa's financing needs have grown, the resources of our development institutions must grow at a pace commensurate with the needs of the continent. There's a strong development case for a scaled-up AFDB and ADF following current trends. The expansion of quality infrastructure, investments across agriculture, energy, transport, water, and sanitation is crucial to undergird our efforts at moving beyond the pandemic and unfolding food and commodity crisis. Let us find an avenue for SDRs to be channeled to AFDB. Let us leave with a sense of achievement when we finish these meetings. Enlightened self-interest will suggest that we hold in our collective hand the power for a productive or disruptive future in 2050, as by that date, Africa will be a quarter of the world's population and will have 850 million youth. To that end, we've been presented with the opportunity to leverage these annual meetings for purposeful actions that will be unthinkable in times of calm. Romans 13:11, and I quote, "And that, knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than we believe." This is the time for us to take action. Crucially, we must also use this forum to bring growing attention to the fact that the current global financial architecture does not provide the requisite benefits needed by low and middle income countries to develop. We have all said so on many fora, but who will do this? And one of the writers of our national anthem, Ephraim Amu, says, "Asemaba hina nobeka, ejuma aba hina nobeye." The talk is going on. Who would really speak? And the work is to be done. Who would do this work? Access to external capital markets is limited and costly. Currently, only 21 African countries have a track record of capital market access. Additionally, African countries with market access pay higher interest rates than their peers with similar or worse economic fundamentals. Estimates of what may be termed the African premium range from 100, an all-in cost of 100 to 600 basis points, even after accounting for economic fundamentals. Although our multilateral and bilateral partners introduce well-meaning initiatives such as the DSSR and Common Framework, their impact has been limited. Similar concerns stalled the implementation of the Common Framework for Debt Treatment. To date, the 3 countries that subscribe to the initiative are yet to receive their full debt relief. The time has come to ensure that comprehensive support is offered to countries facing challenges with debt pressures. We can start by ensuring that the agencies that influence investment decisions leverage methods and processes that ensure capital is directed towards well-appointed growth initiatives in emerging countries such as ours, instead of earning suboptimal returns overseas. Only then can we tackle the inherent bias of African nations viewed as riskier and thus attracting expensive debt. In truth, growth pressures on the continent are not bleak, especially once Africa is not constrained from accessing the requisite capital to succeed. The harsh reality is that so far, what we have seen is fragmentation across climate finance, SDG finance, and COVID-related liquidity support. For instance, 100 billion in SDR rechanneling prospect, so has a promise of 100 billion annually to support climate change financing for developing countries. Ladies and gentlemen, with the wind behind our sail, we must position our Africa Development Bank to be at the center of Africa's recovery. We must lay out a roadmap through these annual meetings that allows us to build back better and effect a tectonic shift in the global financial architecture. As the chair of the G24, I highlighted that a very unsettling picture of Picasso's Guernica in 1937 confronts us if we do not collectively rise to the occasion and confront the exigencies of the moment. What would the painters and the painting look like if we forget our common humanity? Difficult conversations must be had and responsibility must be shared for us to make meaningful progress and realize our development aspirations. Ladies and gentlemen, a hugely successful forum lies ahead of us. I remain encouraged by the words of Nelson Mandela. Nothing is impossible. It always seems impossible until it is done. Let us be reminded of our political liberation successes. Let us remember the economic successes until COVID-19 disrupted us. We know that with good leadership, with the anchor of the AFCFTA, and with the anchor of AFDB, we shall succeed. Let us look to the future then anchored on these three pillars. So without taking any more time, let us be bold and courageous, focus on writing a new chapter in the story history of our beautiful continent. Welcome to Accra, Akwaaba. Thank you. God bless Africa. God bless us all.
The bank and the fund must be unshackled to raise competitive finances for Africa. Now is the time for us to take action, not tomorrow. We need to reposition the African Development Bank as the center of Africa's recovery. I dare say, Governor, thank you very much. Now we play the opening video.
Climate change is here. Without electricity, the water pumps stop.
En pleine culture, tu perds l'eau.